Ed here with the Digital Digest, and today I wanted to share a quick unboxing and first look at the Samsung Galaxy Note 9, priced at roughly $1,000 for the 128 gig version that I'm about to unbox, which is accompanied by 6 gigs of RAM, one of Qualcomm's latest chips, the 845. It is an octa-core chip, as well as a higher resolution screen that's also fractionally larger than the Note 8, which I've been using as my daily driver since its launch. This, again, is the most expensive Note ever made, and there's an even more expensive version. But more importantly, still focusing on the specs here, big improvement, 4,000 milliamp hour battery, which is considerably more than the 3,500, I believe, that was in the, or is in, the Note 8. And if you do jump up to the $1,250 model, which is the 512 gig version, you get 8 gigs of RAM to complement rather than the 6 you'll find here. Now, this is the ocean blue. They also have a lavender, which really looks like hot pink, at least as far as I can tell. And you already see that golden stylus. And that is because Samsung has now basically given us two-tone, something we did not have before. Looking to see if this is sealed or just magnetic. It appears that it is neither. Ta-da! You can tell I've been watching other people unbox this, right? So paperwork, not interested. There's the phone. Now, I mentioned the 6.4-inch display. It is, of course, a Super AMOLED display, and the resolution difference, not tremendous, but still relevant, as is the brightness gain here per pixel. We're at 2960 by 1440. Much like the Note 8, this is not going to run at that resolution by default. Instead, this is the unlocked version, by the way. I did get this directly from Samsung. Let's see if it powers on. They're going to keep the resolution at, I think, QHD for battery life purposes, which makes sense. But when you consider, what this phone basically looks like, feels like, very much the Note 8. The power button has been relocated. It's a little bit higher up now. Of course, volume rocker here. Your Bixby button, Bixby taking on an even larger role in this phone's Oreo life. Keep in mind, another comparison that you should be aware of. Sound like I hear Bixby talking right now, but I'm not doing that. I was showing you the USB Type-C. I thought I was hallucinating. USB Type-C port. You have 2 speakers. That's why I was hearing that, or I thought there were dual speakers on this. I see one, which of course the Note 8 had. I'm not seeing another speaker, but it sure sounded like there was another one. At any rate, of course the S Pen, which I'm going to pop out right now. And there you can see it's yellow. But this is where the innovation is really supposed to lie. Now, do I think it's game-changing? No. Do I think it's something they could have done probably 3 generations ago? Absolutely. We've got Bluetooth now. So beyond implementing, of course, more polish on the software, which is what the whole Galaxy experience is all about. That's why some people love it and other people hate it, memory hog that it is. You can now use this as a remote shutter for taking selfies. I've seen a lot of reviewers using that in what I consider a ridiculous fashion, thinking that Samsung thought customers would want to put this on a tripod. And I'm not saying that you can't do that. Don't get me wrong. If your cell phone is your only phone, then you probably might want to do that. But it is designed for helping you take selfies comfortably with what is right now basically the largest flagship phone on the planet. Quick charger right there. I believe the quick charge time is roughly the same as or a little bit longer than the Note 8, but that makes sense. We have a larger battery. And then they do give you the ability now, you can see this is a Type-C to Type-A USB adapter. They've included this. It's not a new thing to include, but DeX, the desktop operating system that this phone is capable of, unlike the Note 8, does not require a dock now, so you can just connect this to a computer. I just wanted to point that out, using Type-C and actually run Samsung's desktop experience. We've got some pen tip replacements right there. Very interesting stuff. Some AKG, headphones. Samsung, obviously big on branding with AKG. That was part of their promotion for pre-order as well. These seem like nice earbuds to get out of the box. your Type-C for charging, which you are going to want to, of course, connect to that brick that I showed right at the beginning of what was underneath. And then last but not least, we have the caps for those AKG, I keep saying key, AKG earbuds, the rubber inserts. And that is pretty much it. I don't think there's anything else in this box. I'm not going to deconstruct it further. So again, is the brand new Note 9 for you? It depends. Sure, other phones are coming. We're getting close to the holiday season. 1,000, 1,250. I mean, personally, I would have rather had the 512 gig version on hand to share with all of you than this phone, but that's in short supply. I think that's in large part because simple factors of scale and the fact that the 512 chip this is the first appearance. You do have micro SD card slot storage expansion on this. I should have mentioned that a lot earlier in this video, but I think every Note user on Earth knows that already. It supports up to 512 gigs. At least that's the capacity that they state now. I'm sure when a 1 terabyte card appears, it'll probably work too, but don't hold me accountable if it doesn't. Cameras, not really a major change. Fingerprint scanner or reader, that is a big change on the Note 8. It was to the right of the camera assembly. Now it is below it. I definitely think that's a more natural position, but whether or not you use it is a matter of personal preference, obviously. But overall, again, you've got the Note 8 basically revamped, better battery life, some software enhancements, which I'll be getting into through the course of my review with the S Pen, beyond the Bluetooth functionality that I was just talking about with the camera shutter. And overall, I think the 12 megapixel on the rear and the 8 megapixel on the front are going to give you basically the same results, which are best in class, I was going to say, as the Note 8 right now, right up there with, of course, the Pixel XL2 and the iPhone X. But there are, a lot of different things that Samsung has added into UI, which I'll eventually get into with the camera, but those are things they just haven't pushed to the Note 8 that, of course, the Note 8 could run. I know this is, was not meant to be a comparison, but I give you a little taste of what obviously will come in the form of my comparison to my experience with this brand new flagship and the previous gen. But any questions or comments, please feel free to post them. Hit that like button, and as usual, please feel free to subscribe. Later.